What is up, guys? Politics Gaming here, and today we are doing episode 12 of the United States of America. Before we start, let's go ahead and make a goal, guys. Let's go ahead and hit 5,000 subscribers by July 4th. I'm going to repeat it at the end of this video, but guys, let's go ahead and hit 5,000 subscribers. I am only about 70 away at the recording of this video. So guys, let's hit 5,000 subscribers by July 4th. We only need 70 people left, and I'm doing a 2021 edition giveaway at 5,000 subscribers upon the release of the 2021 edition. So again, there is a lot of incentive for you guys to subscribe. If you want a free edition of Power and Revolution, do what you can to get people to subscribe to me. Let's go ahead again, hit 5,000 by July 4th. In the previous episode, essentially what we did is that we were trying to go after more sources of revenue, but at the same time, we have been able to get a large excess into the national economy. Right now, we are pumping about nearly a $100 billion federal surplus as of right now in this gameplay. This is my tax code as of right now. You do see that we have a slight value-added tax, which is gaining us about $337 billion. We could also maybe work to start reducing some taxes, but also at the same time, you know, under this kind of administration, that is not a policy in which that he says that he's going to do. He has said that he anyone making under $400,000 will not see their taxes go up, but he also said that they will not see them go down. So he hasn't promised any sort of tax cut as of yet. Even though, what are you guys' thoughts on tax cuts in the United States? Do you guys support tax cuts? Do you guys not like tax cuts? And we also see that we are dealing with some sort of inflationary crisis. Not really crisis, but we do see that inflation is on its way up, as it is in real life. In a way, we could go over here. We could increase the value-added tax, which is an indirect tax on consumption. We could increase that to about 1%, and if we can get that past the Congress, and it looks like that is going to be a very hard ask for the Congress to initiate on. So can we get it up to 0.9%? And it looks like that has been introduced, and we do not have any support for that specific measure. So we will try to see what the reaction is to that, and then we were going to go ahead and come over. We're going to cancel the bill. You saw that I didn't even hit it, ironically. So that was that's some stupid bug that I tend to see on Power and Revolution. But big news right here. We have the Europa lander space program imminent liftoff. The countdown has started at Cape Canaveral First Station. I invite you to come and watch the launch. Let's go ahead and accept this ask, and then we will watch the launch of the Europa lander, which is going to go on and try to see if there's life on the Julian moon of Europa.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition.
All right, let's go ahead and do one thing right now. We're gonna go ahead and initiate. We're gonna use some of this federal surplus to start investing into our infrastructure. So the infrastructure that we're going to invest in, let's go ahead and analyze what we got. So let's go ahead and do a Chicago. What are we doing? Can I click? Click. No, yeah. Oh, now I can click. All right, let's do a Chicago to Detroit line. and that'll start a Midwest kind of a line that I really want to start going for. So let's go ahead and click confirm. We will do about $12 billion investment, and that'll be done in less than a year. And then let's go ahead and do another line. What do we have in California right now? So we have the first line in our California high-speed rail line, which is connects Los Angeles to Bakersfield. So let's go ahead and finish off this California high-speed rail line. So we're going to go ahead and connect Bakersfield to Fresno. And that's going to be $5 billion. It'll be $5.4 billion, about $24 billion over the next 5 years. And then Fresno is going to connect directly to, we do Stockton. Yeah, let's go ahead and do Stockton, and then we'll connect Stockton to Sacramento, and then Sacramento is going to connect directly to San Francisco. And then we're going to do $5 billion, so that's $26 billion over the next 5 years. And then Stockton to Sacramento. We're going to try to fully fund this, get that done. And yeah, that's going to be, as long as it's under $25 billion, I think we're going to be able to afford it mainly. And then we're going to do San Francisco to Sacramento. San Francisco to Sacramento. Yeah, since we're basically kind of, yeah, $25 billion. That's actually going to be it. And we will connect that. And then, so the shorter lines are going to have a higher priority to complete. And then the longer lines are going to take a little bit longer, about less than a year, about a year, maybe a little bit more than a year to actually complete. So San Francisco is going to connect to, can we do San Jose? No, we already have a Hyperloop that connects San Francisco to Los Angeles, so we already have that piece. So if people want to get from Los Angeles to San Francisco directly, then that is going to be their option right there. But if they want to get to each individual city in between, then that will be something that they can do. So can we do, what can we also do? Let's think about it. Let's go ahead and go back to transportation, and we will do a Hyperloop from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. It'll be a direct connection, nothing kind of like a zipping in between. It's going to be just straight line shot from Los Angeles to Las Vegas, and that'll be done in about $12 billion. Let's do $64 billion. Well, let's do $12 billion, $53 billion over the next 5 years. It'll be done in 9 months. And then, can we do one more Hyperloop from, what do we want to do? Can we do, let's do a DFW city to maybe El Paso. Or we could, let's think about it. Let's think. Let's go ahead and do high-speed rail in Florida. As we see, so Chicago to Detroit will be our first one. And lastly, the cities chosen for train stations are excellent choices and will contribute to the region's development. So that is a good investment. Bakersfield to Fresno. It is good for national tourism, which will benefit from this new infrastructure. So it's a good investment. And that is the same case for Fresno to Stockton. And then Stockton to Sacramento. And then it says it's good for national tourism, which will benefit from this new infrastructure. Lastly, the cities chosen for the train stations are really bad choices. There's a greater need elsewhere, and this would be surely to be criticized and considered a waste of public funds. So that is unfortunate that the Stockton to Sacramento line was disapproved of, but it's going to get you there faster than it would be in terms of a highway. And then San Francisco to Sacramento, good for national tourism. So connecting, if you want any advice on what to do with high-speed rail lines, so Hyperloops are going to be ideal for the longer distances. So for example, Los Angeles to San Francisco, or Los Angeles to Las Vegas, those are ideal to do for hyperloops. The hyperloops actually cost less than a high-speed rail line would cost. So they're an ideal investment, not only financially, but time-wise. But then, if you want to figure out where to do a high-speed rail line, it's going to be the moderate distances. So like Los Angeles, Bakersfield, Fresno, Stockton, maybe not Stockton to Sacramento, but I do that just because I think it's a good investment. Because we're connecting it into one big line. So if you want to get from one end of the country to the other, what I like to do is I like to make some small investments like in various areas, and then those areas are going to connect into each other interchangeably. And then, so let's go over to transportation and see what we got. Let's go ahead and do one more high-speed rail line. And this is going to be Dallas to Houston. And that'll connect directly. And that'll be the first line a part of our Texas Triangle, in which we are going to connect Dallas to Houston, to San Antonio, to Austin, and then to Dallas again. So Dallas is going to be the main area in which that people are going to be able to transport themselves across the state into the major cities. And then we're also going to think about doing a hyperloop from Dallas or Fort Worth all the way over to El Paso, because, you know, it takes about 5 hours to drive from Dallas to El Paso, but we could cut that down into about 2 hours, maybe even an hour and a half with the hyperloop. So let's go ahead and initiate this construction. We're going to invest $10 billion into it for annually, and then that'll be done in 7 months. Let's go ahead and go over to legislation, see what we got. We got automatic radars. We have 76,000. Maybe we could get that up to 100,000. And then we have speed limits. We have minimum age for driver's license. And then we have minimum alcohol level for drivers, and then legislating self-driving vehicles, allowing testing of self-driving vehicles on the highways, and then allowing self-driving vehicles on the highway systems. Let's go ahead and go over to my research, and then let's see what we have in terms of that research, because there is a research thing that we can invest into. So let's do ICT. I'm gonna have to find it because I don't remember where it is exactly. We have medicine and genetics, energy and environment. We have, where is it? Human and social sciences. Aha, it is right here. AI driving and autonomous steering, software system that allows a vehicle to travel autonomously and safely without human drivers. Real-time analysis of various information streams and sensors, which is cameras, LiDARs, GPS, and maps, to avoid accidents while obeying traffic laws. So this has the following effect on these activities and sectors, which is construction of electric utility vehicles and electric automobiles. So let's go over to transportation. We're going to go to self-driving vehicles. We're going to go ahead and introduce that as a bill into the Congress. And that will have people won't exactly like that because it's being introduced, but I think we could get our Democratic colleagues on this side, and Republicans seem to be all for it. So we will, 86% and then 86% in the Senate. So let's go ahead and introduce this as a bill. Let's go ahead and meet with our Democratic colleague in the Senate, or in the I say the Senate because that's literally Bernie Sanders, so that made me say Senate. But it looks like Bernie Sanders is the Democratic majority leader right now. So it looks like we have protests across the nation because of that bill that I just introduced. So those are all of these of these sets. Hang on. Roads blocked to develop roads. Wait. Working like dogs for a miserable salary. This cannot go on. Truck drivers have had enough of the exploitation they are subjected to, and if you refuse to hear us, it is the entire country that must listen to us. In a week, all roads will be blocked, and you will no longer and it will be long before the national economy is completely suffocated. We are about to have a strike on our hands, guys. We are about to have a strike. We need to meet with this man immediately. No, we are going to wait. We are going to wait, and we are going to see what happens, and we are going to negotiate with him when the strike starts. We are going to see if he is
Demonstrated.
We're going to see if he's bluffing, and I will see you guys. Wow, we have a 10%. We have a lot of stuff going on. Okay, let's do our meeting first.
No.
And offer Saint Champagne, tell him he's radiant. Militants, and blah, 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 blah. Self-driving vehicles. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but we still disagree on.
He says no, and consultant.
You're a dead.
And calls me a deadpan. Whatever. Quarterly figures, 4% is our unemployment rate, no positive rate that we speak of, but we have a 10% growth rate right now, but that is dangerous for our inflation. So let's go ahead and check on inflation real quick, 3.16%. We need to go ahead and increase this to 6% as our interest rate. And self-driving cars, reverse. The proposed bill on self-driving cars is a serious mistake. It will eliminate tens of thousands of jobs, truck drivers, taxi drivers, bus drivers, ambulance drivers, messengers, private chauffeurs, driving schools, and our reunion. We will not let this happen, so we need to consider removing that bill from consideration in the House. We need to think about it really quick. The extent of the rainfall that characterizes our current weather is an abnormal situation. There is a drought as of right now in the state of Vermont. We are getting hit. We are about to go through a strike. We have a drought on our hands, and we are, wow. I mean, we are getting hit with a lot of different situations right now. Let's go ahead and we have 2 people that have just died in the, Vermont. So let's go ahead and give them $300 million in emergency subsidies. We're going to wait for this, we really need to consider pulling that bill, because that is the reason that they are striking. Water restrictions lifted, so it looks like that those subsidies worked immediately. Let's go ahead and go to the next day, and the next day. Final cost of $500 million. It looks like the strike has just begun. We're meeting the main speaker as of right now. This is going to be, well, I mean, this is a very, very interesting situation. We don't have anything that we can negotiate with him. I mean, we don't know if he's, more of a corrupt guy, so we can't really bribe him right now.
Please, let's stop. And why not play a game of Whilst while you're at it? Do you?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, honestly.
He really, really does not.
For me, this medal symbolizes all that is noble in this country, and you show no trace of this nobility. It is therefore my duty, and even with some joy, that I must decline your pathetic gift.
Okay, Jesus.
No! We shall have your skin!
Okay.
Let's go ahead and appear on television, try to see. In the modern world, a respected state leader must give an edge on the hyperactivity and on the presence and not be preoccupied with managing the budget. Television appearances give good visibility and will reach large audiences, a reflection of the interest that the people has for its leaders, but make sure to not abuse it because it could damage your credibility. Let's go ahead and do a television appearance before we do anything else, and let's see how much this slumps the economy. Mr. President, commercial trucks just block the main highways of the country. I've deployed men to maintain public order. Oh, that dropped down from 120,000 to 470.
Your television appearance was very well received by the demonstrators. You showed conviction. The assembly should demobilize gradually. I will keep you up to date.
So we could be a day away from the end of this incident. Let's go ahead and watch the TV address to see what happened.
I understand the disappointment, even the resentment felt by the protesters. But today, I officially ask them to return home for the sake of appeasement. As soon as this is done, the government will take responsibility for investigating and responding to their demands.
All right, so let's go ahead and go to the next day and see what happens. And the blockage of the roads has ended, so it looks like that TV address was very well received to a point to where it literally ended the incident only a day after it had started. Liberation of the highways, the roadblocks on the last main highways of the country have been lifted, and the traffic is now returned to normal. And we also see drought farmers are satisfied with the government's compensation policy. And it looks like, congratulations, Tim Sparrow told me that all the farmers have really appreciated the government's willingness to help them. $1 billion was assigned to them altogether, which represents exactly both the estimated amount and the amount requested to pay for crop damage. So it actually gave them, what was it, like $300 million and another $700 million over their $500 million request. So that was the amount. That's good policy and good response on our part. So we dealt with that efficiently, quick, and gave them enough money to recover from it. And it looks like that instead of a drought, we end up dealing with a wildfire on the in Southern California. Looks like we have another protest right now. 717,000 people are now in the streets across the nation right now because of that bill that just passed the United States Congress. And it looks like we do have a riot in Washington, D.C. We will go ahead and see. I will go ahead and see all after I deal with this riot, and then we will go on from there. All right, and we do reach the end of it, but we are dealing with a couple of sit-ins right now. Let's go ahead and get the police to intervene against those sit-ins right here. We have the end of the sit-in, 4 days altogether, so it looks like most of the sit-ins ended. I had like 5 sit-ins at the same time. G7 Summit on 8/26/23.
Define the debt reduction.
Let's go ahead and attend that meeting.
The population effect.
We do see that the forest fire has ended, and they're asking for, wow, $5 billion in emergency funds. So let's go ahead and give them $8 billion, because the estimate is probably going to be a lot higher than that number. So we're going to go ahead and pull out $8 billion from a little good old trust fund, and we will give them enough money to start over. All affected people have been compensated $8.37 billion. And confidential information, and it looks like that Saudi Arabia is attacking Israel with terrorist funding. That is interesting. Maybe we can negotiate lower oil prices from Saudi Arabia, but it does. They are actually a part of a... Or we can actually ask them, say, like, hey, I mean, give me some bases that you can give me. Maybe we can negotiate something with the Saudis. That'd be fun. Looks like there is a heat wave right now in Italy. Very interesting in Lazio region. And it looks like Avignon, a place of honor for the United States.
Our national theater company is experiencing great success.
Okay, so it was a National Theater Corporation, so that is interesting. And Japan discovers AI, simulated intelligence. But is it simulated, or is it something more? That is the question behind that. But let's go ahead, and we have we have 3 more nuclear power plants that are now under construction. And yeah, we also did not subsidize or nationalize the 3G EPR nuclear electricity. So that is, again, unfortunate that we are not making that money, but we are doing a lot better, and we are making a lot of tax revenue off of it. And they're doing a lot better, probably in terms of production, because I think usually that would be around like maybe 20, 30 billion, maybe even 40 billion at the highest. But $130 billion is not that bad in terms of oh, speaking of that, what are we doing? So it is July, so we need to start making our way to I think it's October. Yeah, it's gonna be October. So we have about a month a month and a half, 2 months. Yeah, about 2 months. Less than 2 months left in this gameplay. So what we're going to also do while we do this is that we're going to go over to environment, and we need to go over, we need to dismantle 495 of these. So that is going to be, that is going to cut 99 terawatts out of our surplus. And what if I do 500 exactly? That is going to cut 100 terawatts out of our production capacity. Gonna cost about $3 billion, and we're gonna get it done in 4 months. And so let's go ahead and confirm this. But then we're going to go over to, okay, so 3G EPR, 196. Let's go ahead and initiate 5 more constructions of that, and that'll be done around the same time that those power plants are going to be dismantled. So we're losing 100 terawatts, but then we're probably going to initiate a little bit more than that in terms. Just to kind of account for the consumption that we're going for and everything else. So let's go ahead and initiate those in West Virginia. We're gonna do the last 2 in Pennsylvania, and that'll be it for right now. Let's do that in northern Pennsylvania, and that'll also supply a little bit more for New York power. There's also Indian Point too. That is just north of New York City. That's very interesting. I actually know that they're supposed to be dismantling that nuclear power plant, only producing 6 terawatts of power. That is a very low number for a nuclear power plant. That's the way I love playing Japan, because all of theirs have extremely low production values, but also I don't know, Japan's energy situation is really delicate and really weird into this game, and that's actually why I tried to get them saying, hey, like, y'all should give us the option to turn them on or turn them off, because it's like impossible to play Japan right now, because, I mean, it's very expensive to play Japan, because it's basically like you coming in and like having to dismantle every single nuclear power plant that they had and then build them again. So you're having to pay like $100 billion to dismantle them, and then pay like $500 billion to build more of them just to meet energy demand. So that was one of the weird things about playing as Japan, and they actually responded to it. And that was one of the features, I believe, that they put in a 2019 edition, in which that they actually fixed that issue. Environment, construction, and we do have those new infrastructures up and running. And let's go ahead and see what our CO2 emissions are. And they're actually dropping, but they're not dropping enough. So we need to initiate some more. And we do 25,000 of these. No, but we are running a deficit, so we need to go ahead and start watching what we're doing right now. Wait for that growth to come back. All right, it is August 23rd, 2023. Let's go ahead and check on something before we initiate a massive policy decision for this administration, and it is 2023. It is maybe a couple of years too late. Look, oh, by the way, let's go ahead and check on some of our space missions. So the Father Sky program is on its way to Uranus. This is a 1-star interest program, but I wanted to do this because I like the planet Uranus. Uranus is actually one of my favorite planets.
What's it called now? Your rectum.
But we launched on 5/19/2023, and we will get the objective of the Father Sky program will be achieved on 5/15/2039, probably way after Biden's lifetime, at least in this game. But that is a very interesting concept. Let's go ahead and look at the Europa lander. The Europa lander was launched in 2023, and it will achieve its objective in 2028. So that's going to be very interesting. $33 billion has been invested into this program. 0% chance of failure, but it still has a chance of failing. I mean, that's the fun part about this. Yeah, that'll be that'll be like the very end of our launch window for that. So let's go ahead and do that. It's 43% risk of failure, but we will go ahead and double the budget of this of the Vogel space program, just so we can get it launched by actually literally by the next couple of days. So let's see if we can actually get that done. We just like accelerated increased risk 43%, but we need to get this done. If we're not able to get that, let's go ahead and ask for $20 billion in reduction of debt for those. So let's go Axios Vogel. What is the budget? Can we get this done before it launches? Axios Vogel scheduled liftoff is in a week. We need purchasing power declines is very bad news in the current situation, which is already very difficult for our fellow countrymen to acknowledge. For our fellow countrymen, as we acknowledge, the stock markets are empty and people are struggling to pay bills. Okay, for one thing, let's go ahead and go over to civil servant and let's increase their pay a little bit. Police is going to be increased substantially. Army's going to be increased, and administration, for some reason, is the lowest out of the bunch. $43 billion, well. State revenues, expenditures. We're still running a SERP? No? Actually, no, we're not. So we're going to increase the deficit to about $100 billion. About 0.5%. Summit meeting. Those riots? Whoa, what happened? Are you getting mad? Oh man, I'll go ahead and deal with that. No, we really need to look at space research because we're probably gonna blow this thing up and lift off. Okay, so we look like we're going to be able to launch without the risk of failure. So that budget increase did go into effect, $14 billion being invested into the Axios Vogel program, and that will launch on schedule on 9/23, ahead of schedule, about a year ahead of schedule on 9/23. But it looks like that the curse of being excluded from the World Trade Organization has come back to hit me, not only as Russia, but as the United States as well. Gabe Vogel is going to have a very good time watching this video because he will not let it go. And now he has reason to not let it go because it happened again. And in the Russia series, in Russia, if you have been following this channel for many years, you'll remember that I actually left the World Trade Organization. I was not excluded from it. But for whatever reason right now, the World Trade Organization just got really upset with me. I don't even know what I did. I just literally increased pay to everyone and they excluded me. Now, maybe it's because of the riots or something like that. I don't know. But your schemes are in contrast to the World Trade Organization's rules. Thus, I have the duty of informing you of your exclusion from the World Trade Organization. Was voted for unanimously. I'm gonna go to war with like everyone else. Like that is BS. That is BS. Let's go ahead and deploy the military into Cheyenne, Wyoming, just to get rid of these people. And I will see you guys after all of these riots have been quelled. Alright, looks like that we are launching the Axios Vogel.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition.
You can actually see the national troubles that we're going through on the left side of the screen, unfortunately. Very fun times in the United States, isn't it? Alright, looks like that successfully launched, and we can see it continuing on its way up. And we'll go ahead and respond to these riots, and I will see you guys on the other side. Alright, and after a widespread event of civil unrest across the United States, I really need to think about banning sects in this game. Like, this is They are always.
Our agents that have infiltrated this organization confirm.
I would much rather launch counter-terrorism operations against the sects, other than allowing them to just kind of run rampant. Let's go ahead and do that. The university campus inauguration. That would be fun. Bad evaluation from me some time ago. Leave government. Looks like that he reconsidered, so that is good. Danny Stevens has lost his life.
Funeral?
Let's go ahead and attend that funeral. Being on the TV a little too much, and it looks like that the episode is about to come to an end. Let's go ahead and check on a few things. And hang on. Whoa, look at this. Departure of the Mexican drug cartel organization in the United States of Mexico. Yeehaw! Scientific rigor has proved a superiority over doctrinal barbarity, a simulated program based on, oh my god, I hate listening to this guy talk. You can see nothing is left to chance, which is why the operation was successful in eradicating the terrorist organization. We just eradicated the Mexican drug cartels in the US of Mexico. That is an extraordinarily good counterterrorism operation that we just launched. For one thing, and after that, let's go ahead and see who's at the head of the Democratic Party. It looks like it is a stock character right now, so we have run out of characters. It would be funny if like Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama were like the head of the organizations, but it looks like that is not the case. It looks like we have a stock character, very young stock character, that could be the guy that we run with in 2024 if we end up running. Let's go ahead and go to the end of the month and we'll see what the damage is to our economy. Probably not too much damage. We actually made a lot of money, but we also did spend a lot of money in this episode. So we are going to, looks like the Masramuta World Championship had just happened, and it is now October. Let's go ahead and go a little bit. We get a $94 billion cash surplus in the U.S. economy. That is a great thing. Even though we spent a lot of money, we did invest a lot into transportation. We also invested a lot into infrastructure. We dealt with a lot in this episode, and we still pay off our national debt as of right now. It looks like our inflation rate is about to hit 4%, but it has flattened off, so that is okay. That is good. A little good. Growth forecast is 8.9%. GDP is $22.6 trillion, about to hit $23 trillion, and that our GDP as world share is now 21.8%. Exports are up about nearly $400 billion. Imports are up about $600 billion. Trade balance is up about $300 billion, and the price of oil, according to OPEC, is up. So that is unfortunate. As of right now, let's go ahead and check our economy compared to the Chinese, and the Chinese are now at $19.2 trillion. We can actually launch a cyber attack in the next episode, but we will know. So go ahead and leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you guys want to see more content like this, hit the bell notification icon, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I thank you guys for watching this. Let's go ahead and hit 5,000 subscribers by July 4th. It is 6:12 at the recording of this video, and I want to hit it by 7:04. So again, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'll see you guys in the next video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.